welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another true crime video. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day as we are getting closer to spring. The weather's starting to warm up. It's starting to get really nice outside. I know for me, I have two little boys, and as much fun as they have splashing in the puddles and getting all muddy and dirty and all of that, I can't tell you how nice it's been just to go outside and get some warm sunshine and fresh air. So I hope you guys are all doing the same. Now, if you can't tell from my voice, I am getting over a cold, so I apologize for that. But you know how it goes with toddlers. It's like every other week we catch something new and it makes it cycle around the house. So that's where I'm at. But today I wanted to talk about a case that I find very disturbing, as are all cases that involve crimes against children, particularly when it results in the death of that child. And what adds just another layer of it is when it's the parent who is the one who took the life away from their own child. And it seems as if these cases are becoming more and more common. After I covered the Harmony Montgomery case, I promised myself that I was going to take a little bit of a break from covering cases that involve children because it weighs so heavily on me. It really takes its toll on my mental health. But it seems as if even just since February, when Harmony Montgomery's trial, that trial was happening, 3 or 4 cases came up. And I know we often think like, oh, it only seems like it's happening more because we have access to social media, so we hear about it more. However, even in the past 3 or 4 years, it's certainly increased and it's very concerning. And that's why I think it's so important to cover these cases and talk about these cases, because I do think there's a concerning trend happening. And while I'm sure mental health plays a large role, I think there's something deeper going on here, that's causing these types of things to happen. So I think that it is a very important conversation to be had, things that we need to discuss to try to prevent this from happening in the future. But today I'm talking about Esperanza Harding and her 7-month-old baby, Mateo Harding. Now, this all happened just earlier this month when Esperanza goes into the children's hospital. She goes up to the front desk and she starts asking, where her son is, claiming that her baby boy had died in the hospital just days prior from, as she claimed, natural causes. However, when they started to look up any information they had no record of any infant mortality in that time period. But then they continued to look and they had no record of this baby ever being admitted into this hospital. And at that moment, they called the police and reported a missing child. Now, when the police arrived and began questioning Esperanza, they realized that her account of events were very inconsistent. And obviously, if you read any true crime or listen to any true crime, inconsistent stories are automatically a red flag. Something else is going on. And so they question her more, and she sticks to her story for a while until she eventually admits that her baby boy did die, but he died on February 28th when she drowned him in a bathtub. And the reasoning why, and I'll get into it later, the reasoning why really just adds another layer of evil to this case. And I don't use the term evil very often, but this is evil, absolutely evil. So I wanted to go over her arrest affidavit and some other things that are happening with this case. So this is the mother in question, Esperanza Rae Harding, and she has been arrested and she's in the Hennepin County prison, or excuse me, jail. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off with her arrest affidavit, or the complaint. For Esperanza Rae Harding, she is being charged with second-degree murder with intent, not premeditated. First-degree murder does require the premeditation aspect of murder. And for this case, as we kind of go through the details, I'm kind of surprised that it's not premeditated based on the text messages she sent, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And she is looking at a maximum sentence of 40 years, which maybe I'm too harsh. I don't think 40 years is enough. I think any offender that harms children should have an additional charge on top of it for the sole fact that children are innocent, and in most cases are completely defenseless. Um, you really have to be the lowest of the low to harm a child. In addition, I think that if the offender is the parent or the guardian or the caretaker of that child, the person that's supposed to be responsible for making sure that child is safe, I think that should be an extra charge, because you have a higher responsibility of making sure your child is safe over anybody else. That's my personal opinion. Feel free to disagree. Okay. Charge description. That on or about February 28th, 2024 in Bloomington, Hennepin County, Minnesota, Esperanza Rae Harding caused the death of victim, a human being, with intent to affect the death of that person or another, but without premeditation. Sorry, it's taking a second to load. Complainant, a licensed peace officer with the Bloomington Police Department, has investigated the facts and circumstances of this offense and believes the following establishes probable cause. On March 6th, 2024, Minneapolis police officers were dispatched to Children's Hospital on a missing child call. Upon arrival, officers located the child's mother, Esperanza Rae Harding, the defendant herein. The defendant was claiming that her child, hereinafter referred to as victim, died of natural causes in the hospital on March 1st. The hospital had no record of victim being admitted or dying at the hospital. The medical examiner's office had no record of victim. Given the suspicious nature of the defendant's claim, officers sat down for an interview with the defendant. The defendant continued to claim that victim died at the hospital but was providing inconsistent information. Eventually, the defendant admitted that victim did not die at the hospital, but in fact died at a hotel in Bloomington on February 28th, 2024. The defendant admitted that victim drowned in the bathtub and that she wrapped up his body, put it in a backpack, and threw it in a dumpster. Um, I'm kind of, I'm just even surprised that she's not charged with more. How is she not charged with abuse of a corpse? Like, you're throwing this little baby in a dumpster. How is that not, or even tampering with evidence? Like, it's just not enough. She needs to be charged with more. Like, how does your mind even go there? And not only did she rob this precious little baby boy of his life, but now she's robbing him of any dignity after he's already died, to give him a proper burial, to give him a place to rest, to give him a place where people can come and visit and leave flowers on his headstone. She's robbing him of that as well. Hopefully, they'll be able to find him. But I know that in cases where they're looking for especially such small body in a landfill, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. It's not going to be easy. The defendant was interviewed again by Bloomington police once they were brought into the case. The defendant provided additional details regarding victim's death. The defendant stated that she had been dating a man named Edwin Trudeau who did not like her child, and that he wanted her to give victim up for adoption. She stated that Trudeau wanted her to prove that he was her top priority. Listen, this shouldn't even have to be said, but if you are a parent and you start dating someone who expects you to put them over your child, run the other way. That it doesn't get much more of a red flag than that. Clearly. The defendant stated that on February 28th, she was alone in her hotel room in Bloomington, Hennepin County, Minnesota, and was taking a bath. She stated that victim was in the other room and started crying. Shocker, babies cry. Okay? Babies cry. Especially when they want love and affection and they need something because they are helpless. They can't do anything for themselves. You have to help them. The defendant admitted that she was upset that she could not enjoy her bath. According to the defendant, she then put victim in the full bathtub and drowned him. The defendant took a photo of victim floating face down in the full tub. The photo was recovered from her phone. She said she picked victim up out of the water after he was done moving, done twitching. Now, as horrific as it is that she had the nerve to even take pictures of what she did to her baby, to what send it off to her boyfriend so she can prove her love to him. I'm glad she did. I'm glad she took the pictures because it establishes a few things. In these cases, we often see that initially, like she has confessed. She confessed to everything. But usually, after they get a little taste of what jail is like and what it's going to be like for her when she's in prison and she's known as a baby killer, it's not going to be pretty. And once they kind of get a taste of what that's like, they often want to try to, pull back their confession. And if she tries to do that, these pictures that she took are going to establish that she is the one responsible and that her baby truly is deceased. Because as of right now, his body has not been found. And even with all of this evidence, I think it's pretty cut and dry. But sometimes it's hard to get a conviction without a body. So the fact that she took the pictures, I'm glad she did because it's really going to help the prosecution throw her in jail or throw her in prison and hopefully keep her there for as long as they possibly can. The defendant stated that she started texting Trudeau during the incident. Officers were able to recover the text messages. Around 4:45 p.m., the defendant texted and said, quote, "He doing too much right now. I can't fucking sleep. I'm trying though. I'm about to do something bad. Please answer me. He going to no be here much longer." He's not going to be here much longer. Um, for me, these text messages show premeditation. Like she's clearly thinking about doing this, right? Am I wrong here? Maybe I'm wrong. It just seems like I know there are some states where even just a couple of minutes of thinking about something and then you go for it, it can be considered premeditation. And I think that this is clearly premeditated. She was clearly thinking about it. She followed up with another text stating, quote, "I can't. He going die. I'm done. If you took the time to fill a bath that I can't use, he can use it. I'm sorry." End quote. Over a bath. Again, listen, I know that being a mother in those first few months, those first even few years are taxing. It's very tiring. They require a lot of your love and attention and support, and they need you to do everything for them. It's a lot of work. But if you can't do it, get help. Give them to somebody else that can do it. We're living in 2024 and there are a million other options before this. This is never an option. Never an option. And listen, I remember those days when I wanted just to take a nice bath. And guess what? I would just take my baby into the bath with me, hold him on my chest, and he can enjoy it as well. You got to make it work. You got to make your situation work for you. It's not always easy, but you got to get through it. 2 minutes later, the defendant texted and said that victim was dead. She was sent subsequent texts referring to herself as a monster for what she had done and asking Trudeau how to get away with it. I mean, at least her self-awareness is on key because she absolutely is a monster. Anyone who is capable of doing something like this is a monster. The defendant told officers that Trudeau came to the hotel room after she killed the victim. She stated that Trudeau gave an effort at CPR, which was unsuccessful, and that then they had sex in the other room while victim lay dead on the bathroom floor. According to the defendant, she packed up victim in a backpack and threw victim into a dumpster in the hotel parking lot. So they don't call for help. They don't call 911. They have victory sex in the other room. How? Seriously, how? I don't think I could do that if my dog had passed away. Like, that's insane. This is your baby, your own flesh and blood in the other room, deceased on the bathroom floor, and this is what you decide to do. It's unbelievable. And how is it that these people always find each other? Like, out of the two of them, not one of them had the sense to be like, this is wrong. This is not okay. So here's just the probable cause, order of detention. She's been put on a $1,500,000 bond. And her offense grid. Okay. So yeah, this woman killed her sweet innocent baby boy, precious baby boy, Mateo, because she couldn't take a bath and her boyfriend didn't like her baby and wanted to give him up to for adoption. And at least he had that kind of sense. Like, give him up for adoption, something. Okay, here is her mugshot, her the jail roster. Second degree murder with intent, not premeditated. And for this guy, Edwin Cosmo Trudeau. And he is being charged with aiding an offender, accomplice after the fact, being held on a $500,000 bond. Now let's look at his arrest affidavit for Edwin Trudeau. Insane. Okay. Maximum sentence, 1.5 statutory maximum for underlying crime. I'm not really sure what that means or what type of sentence that he is looking at. That on or about February 28, 2024, in Bloomington, Hennepin County, Minnesota, Edwin Cosmo Trudeau aided Esperanza Harding, a person Edwin Trudeau knew or had reason to know had committed a criminal act by destroying or concealing evidence of that crime, providing false or misleading information about that crime, or obstructing the investigation or prosecution of that crime. Now, I believe a lot of this is pretty redundant from the other probable cause statement. Let's see. But what I find to be important here, just to show what type of person he is. So when Esperanza was texting him, and she texted and said, "He doing too much right now. I can't fucking sleep. I'm trying though. I'm about to do something bad. Please answer me. He going to not be here much longer." The defendant's response, Edwin's defense was, "Okay, that's okay." Harding texted the defendant minutes later and stated that victim was dead and that she was sorry. And the defendant's response was, "Don't be." She literally just killed her child. And his response is, "Don't be sorry." The disregard for this human life, this sweet, innocent, precious baby boy, is disgusting. It's like they don't even see this baby as a human, as a person. During the text exchange a few minutes later, after Harding indicated victim was dead, she said she was trying to do CPR. So Esperanza was trying to do CPR, and the defendant responded and told her to stop. He then stated, "Just stop trying." The defendant also texted and said, "It's okay, I'm a help." And later, "You're making things harder. Stop. We are a team. We do this." Yeah, I don't see how he doesn't have more charges for what he did. I mean, maybe they'll come later, but it seems as if he's telling her to stop doing CPR for a bait. Like, it's just, I don't understand. I don't understand how people like this exist. I don't get it. Like, how do you have not a single ounce of empathy in your body? that you're able to do something like this. It's psychopathic. That's really, like, you're just a monster. Absolute monster. The defendant did not call 911 or seek assistance for victim. According to Harding, the defendant told her to bring victim to the garbage by throwing the bag into the trash to make it look like she was just throwing trash out. Harding admitted that she did just that. Harding also explained that the defendant kept telling her to keep her mouth shut and that they had to get out of the situation. He told her, "If you go down, I go down no matter what," and that it's always going to be us, Bonnie and Clyde. Except, here's one thing, as much as Bonnie and Clyde may have done, they never killed babies. Never killed babies. Real winners there. Real winners. So even he was saying, you know, to give the child up for adoption, which obviously would have been the better route to go. But that wasn't the only route that they had, because I also came across the GoFundMe set up by Mateo's father's family. Now, this GoFundMe is available if you are in a position to donate. The funds will be put towards funeral costs if they are able to locate the body of precious little Mateo. Look how cute his little face is. So sweet. It breaks my heart. It's really, really upsetting. With our heart in our hands, we invite you to help our beloved baby boy who lost his life in the hands of a devastating decision. Our baby boy, Mateo Harding, was only 7 months old when a person's wrongful choices took him away from us. He was a happy, sweet, and loving baby boy. On February 28th, 2024, Mateo Harding had his life taken away by his mother, who had previously taken him away from his loving father the year prior with law enforcement help. She had abandoned him for 3 months after giving birth, and then came back looking for him after my brother called the police. They didn't help much and just decided to let her keep my nephew and proceeded to tell him he needed to go to court to get him back. Later on, she promised she would do custody arrangement and co-parent. This woman took Mateo away with lies from his loving father, who she had a custody arrangement with. Please, if you can help us with anything to help provide an economic ease for funeral expenses once the remains of our sweet beloved baby are found. So I'm going to leave a link to this GoFundMe down in the description section. Okay, here's just a little news clip of
We start with a push
the
for
story.
justice in the death of a baby in Bloomington.
Esperanza Harding is charged in connection to the death of her child. Police say she claimed the little boy died of natural causes at the hospital before admitting to drowning him in a bathtub. Today, friends and family gathered to remember little Mateo.
Miss Britt, he was really happy. He enjoyed life.
The baby Mateo lit up every room with that smile.
Look how precious.
For 8 months of his life.
He was always laughing and just enjoying life.
Now, these pictures and videos are all his dad, Jesus Casares, has left.
So right now, I have more anger than sadness.
After finding out what happened to his son. Court documents show Esperanza Harding allegedly drowned her son in a hotel bathtub on February 28th. A week later, police were called to Children's Hospital in Minneapolis regarding a missing child. Friends say they suggested hospital staff should get authorities involved. Stories were adding up. Everything was off. Harding told officers her son died in the hospital, but there was no record of the child being there. Investigators say eventually the 20-year-old admitted she drowned her son in her hotel room bathtub, wrapped up the body, then threw it in a dumpster. She didn't cry. Who doesn't cry for their baby? Harding told police her 18-year-old boyfriend, Edwin Trudeau, did not like her son. She says it was his idea to throw her son in the dumpster and not to tell anyone. The body still has not been found.
We just want to find Mateo. We just want justice for him to be able to give him a proper burial.
Baby Mateo's family and friends created this vigil outside the Bloomington Hotel to hold on to those memories and remember his life.
He was a sweet baby, always smiling.
Honestly, I don't want anything else other just to find my son and give him the peace he needs.
Harding faces 40 years in prison. Her boyfriend was also charged with aiding and abetting Harding after her son's murder. They both have hearings scheduled for April 3rd. Paul?
It's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. This little baby was loved, and he had another family that would have been happy to take him so she can have her bath. And the fact, it's just, I don't know. Honestly, it just leaves me speechless. How it's possible for a parent to do that to their little baby. Their sweet, innocent little baby. How does this happen? I'll never understand. So I probably sound like a broken record because my brain literally cannot comprehend how this happens, why it happens. Then I started looking at Facebook. So Esperanza's posting here. Rest in peace, my son, Mateo Harding. Birthday, date of death. Mommy loves you. I don't know why God needs you, but please watch over me and everyone who loves you, baby. Like, the audacity of this woman is unmatched. Unmatched. How I don't know why God needs you. This isn't God's doing. This is your doing. This is your doing. And then she posts these little poems these poems are typically intended for mothers who maybe they lost their son to an accident or to an illness, not for mothers who killed their own children. This is a post from apparently somebody that worked at the hospital or their daughter. I knew some sick stuff was behind this. Big lie. She wasn't crying. She was at the zoo the next day. I knew something was wrong. Thank you to my mother that made the hospital call the cops. I pray they find baby Mateo so he can get a proper burial. So according to this, I don't know. I haven't verified this information, but based on everything we know, I really would not be surprised if she decided to go to the zoo the next day. Unreal. Unreal. I wonder, yeah. So here's her main Facebook page here. And as you can imagine, people are going hard on her comments because her page is completely open. Just days after she did what she did, she posts this cute collage of her sweet baby boy. Look at that little face. Look at that. So precious. Such a sweet baby. But yeah, people are having a field day on her Facebook as it is open for the public. Just the things that she decides to post, and it's like the day she did this, 10:15. Happy for what I have in my life. I will always be blessed with the ones I have in my life. And then she has his birthday and date of death right there on her Facebook bio. I also was looking at her Instagram, same thing there. It's unreal. It's literally, it's hard to comprehend. And I know I sound like a broken record. It's just, I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. But that's where we are right now. Like I said, this is a very disturbing case. I hope she gets the maximum sentence. Again, I don't think 40 years is enough. She's 20 years old now. So even if she gets the maximum sentence, she's out in when she's 60 years old. And 60, you still have nearly half of your life left. You still have a lot of time left if she gets out when she's 60. Whereas this baby boy had 7 months on this earth. 7 months. He was robbed of his entire life. He had his entire life ahead, and she robbed him of that. And she robbed him of a proper burial, and she robbed him of any type of dignity when she killed him. So 40 years is enough. I'm going to stick by that. But let me know what you guys think about this story in the comment section down below. Feel free to disagree with me. I do ask that you do so respectfully. But other than that, that's all I have on this case for now. Be sure to like it before you go, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.